The topic that we are going to discuss today deals with excretion, and the chapter is excretory products and their elimination. Now, we know that animals tend to accumulate several substances over time due to their metabolic activities or by other means such as excess of ingestion. So these substances, they may include ammonia, urea, uric acid, as well as carbon dioxide or excess of water. They may also include several ions such as sodium ions, potassium ions, chloride ions, phosphate ions, and sulfate ions. So all of these accumulated substances need to be either completely or partially eliminated. Now, before moving to the excretory products as well as their elimination or the process of elimination, we first need to discuss or get it clear that what exactly is excretion. So, excretion is the process of elimination of metabolic waste which are primarily of nitrogenous origin. That is, these compounds contain nitrogen at their key center. There is another terminology that is often confused with excretion, that is defecation. So what is defecation? So defecation is the process of passing of undigested food waste via a peristaltic movement across the alimentary canal or the gut, and it is eliminated through the anus. So defecation is nothing but the final stage of digestion. So we cannot say that excretion and defecation are both same. Now, as we discussed that the waste materials that are of nitrogenous origin, they are of three types primarily. They can be ammonia, urea or uric acid. So these are the three major forms of nitrogenous waste. Ammonia here is the most toxic substance, whereas uric acid is the least toxic substance. And since uric acid is the least toxic substance, it requires minimum loss of water. Based on the type of nitrogenous waste, the animals are classified primarily into three types, which are ammonotelic, ureotelic, and uricotelic. Now, first coming to the ammonotelic organisms or animals. So, ammonotelic animals are those which are known to excrete ammonia as it is. So, the ammonia excreting animals are ammonotelic, and the process by which they excrete ammonia is known as ammonotelism. So these organisms include several bony fishes, several aquatic amphibians, several aquatic insects. So we need to keep in mind that since ammonia is one of the most toxic substances, they need a large amount of water, and therefore mostly the aquatic animals will be able to do that. Now coming to the ureotelic organisms. So the animals that are excreting urea as the primary nitrogenous waste, they are known as ureotelic organism. So the process of excreting the urea is known as ureotelism. So ureotelic organisms are mammals such as animals like tiger, lion, or even humans, and several other terrestrial amphibians as well as some of the marine fishes. Now coming to the third category, that is uricotelic. So the animals which are excreting uric acid as their primary nitrogenous waste are known as uricotelic organism, and the process by which they do this is uricotelism. As we discussed earlier that they require minimum loss of water, so they include reptiles, birds, snails, and insect. So a characteristic feature of their excreta is that they occur in either paste or pellet form. That is the most dehydrated form. Low content of water is there. Now, as we discussed that ammonia is one of the most toxic substances, and also ammonia is a salt which is readily soluble in water, and therefore it is generally excreted by the process of diffusion across the body surfaces or through gill surfaces. So they are primarily occurring in the freshwater fishes, and this diffusion of ammonia occurs in the form of ammonium ions, that is NH4 plus. So in these cases, in the cases of these aquatic or freshwater fishes, kidneys do not play any significant role in its removal. And also the lesser toxic nitrogenous wastes that are produced and excreted in animals exhibiting terrestrial adaptations. This also has to be kept in mind that since they are in the terrestrial area, they are on the land, therefore they do not have access to excess of water, and therefore the lower toxic or the lesser toxic nitrogenous forms, nitrogenous wastes are eliminated. Now in case of these terrestrial organisms, the ammonia, especially in the case of the ureotelic organisms, ammonia which is produced by metabolism is collected in the liver, and in the liver the ammonia is converted into urea, and then this urea is poured into or released into the bloodstream, and through the blood it goes into the kidneys, and here the blood is filtered and the waste is excreted out. But in some cases some amount of urea may be retained in the kidney matrix of some of the ureotelic organisms in order to maintain a desired osmolarity. Now we know that urea is also a salt, and to maintain certain amount of osmolarity it can be retained. The amount can be so less that it is not toxic or cause any harm to the organism. Now, coming to the various excretory structures present in animals. So, a variety of excretory structures are present throughout the animal kingdom. Now, if we look primarily at the invertebrates and the vertebrates, so the invertebrates, they have a simple tubular structure for excretion, whereas vertebrates, they have a very complex tubular structure, and primarily they are known as kidneys. Now there is a specialized structure called protonephridia, as mentioned in the NCERT. They are also known as flame cells. Now these flame cells are the excretory structures that are found in platyhelminthes, that is the flatworms. For example, planaria. There are certain rotifers and also some annelids, and certain cephalochordates such as Amphioxus. So they all contain these flame cells. Now the protonephridia, is primarily concerned with the ionic and the fluid volume regulation, and therefore the protonephridia are known to regulate the osmolarity, therefore the osmoregulation. Now coming to nephridia. Now these nephridia are the tubular structure that are present in earthworm and other annelids. So nephridia primarily helps in the elimination of nitrogenous waste and also maintain a fluid as well as the ionic balance. There are other structures such as Malpighian tubules that are the main excretory structure of several insects including the cockroaches. So Malpighian tubules help in the removal of nitrogenous waste and also they again help in osmoregulation. Now in case of several crustaceans, there are several antennal or green glands present that perform the same excretory function. So crustaceans may include prawns, etc.
Now, in the next part, we'll be discussing about the human excretory system. Thank you for watching.